Hello, Taiwo. Good afternoon over there, Lydia. I'm trying to get myself set properly. I'm trying to battle with my camera. I want it to stand better. I am breathing. Just bear with me, please. I will not be silent. I will worship you. As long as I am. Who else is online? I'm also excited, my dear. It's been a long time now. We are happy to be back to class. Who else is online? As long as I am, I will worship you. All of my worship, Tell me, madam. Good evening from here and good afternoon over there. How's your husband? How are you doing? How's business? You guys are wonderful. Okay. I guess we can start now. Others will be joining us. So once again, Kemi, welcome to class. Taiwo, welcome to class. I'm happy to see you back. It's been a while. It's been on writing, we've been communicating, but on Facebook Live, it's been a while now, but we thank God we are back. And for the next few weeks, we are going to be consistent while we deal with the topic we call essential skills for healthy relationship. Oh, Mercy. Is Mercy online? Mercy, if you're online, Desiree, okay, you are all welcome. How have been your day? How is work? How is school? Whatever you are doing, how is everything going? Okay, like I said, welcome back to class. This is a marriage campus for singles. So it's about learning on how to do relationship and marriage better. I trust that today too is going to be a wonderful session, and we are going to impart on ourselves. Like I said, we are going to be looking at topic or treating topic I call essential skills for healthy relationship or marriage. Life is about skill. To do life better, we need to learn some skill. So marriage is not exception. We need skill, special skill to make marriage work, to make relationship work. With what is going on, all over the world in the area of marriage, we know that there are some things we need to learn if we must get it right in marriage, and of course starting from relationship. So today we are going to be starting with emotional intelligence. It's such a wonderful topic, and it's so important that we start from there, because once we start from there, every other skills we're going to be talking about one way or the other is going to be connected with emotional intelligence. If I may ask, Olunubi, you're a darling. Welcome to class. So this is Marriage Campus for Singles. You are welcome, darling. So I'm sure this phrase is not going to be new to any of us that are already watching. If it's new to you, can you just text, let me see, this is the first time I'm hearing about emotional intelligence. Or if I've heard about it, I don't really understand what it means. Please still indicate. I would like to see your comments as I continue. Emotional intelligence, this is the first time I'm hearing about it, or I've heard about it, but I don't actually know what it means. Let me see you. So emotional intelligence, what does it really mean? According to English dictionary, intelligence is ability to perceive, to understand, to judge, and to perceive skill. Amioluwa, you are welcome. Welcome to class. So intelligence is ability to perceive, to understand, ability to judge, your judgment, and then your perception, your skill. Intelligence is actually a skill. Then when we say emotion, I'm sure every one of us know what emotion is. When you talk of emotion, one thing that will first of all come to your mind is anger, desire, affection, your mood. Maybe you are happy, maybe you are sad, your responsiveness. So your emotion is about your mental state. That's what emotion is. So when you now combine the two together, what do you think we're talking about when we say emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is a phrase, that became popular about 20 years ago, and it was a coinage of Dr. Daniel Goleman. He was the one that used that phrase for the first time. Personally, I became aware of it about 7-8 years ago. I became conscious of it. And how did it happen? I entered a bookshop at the airport, and I saw a book titled Emotional Intelligence. I got drawn to the book. I bought the book. But if I may confess, I'm not sure I read up to half of that book. One way or the other, something got me distracted. I never finished the book. But the little I read, I know that some of those things they are talking about, I even have this thing and I didn't know what they are called. And secondly is the fact that though I didn't finish the book, but anytime I hear any discussion, whether in a group or I come across anything on that title online, I pay attention to it. I give my time to it, and I read the book very well. So I become passionate about the book, like I said, because I see about the phrase, because I see the relevance of it to interpersonal relationship. I'm personally someone that loves relationship. I'm a relationship person. So when I see anything that can enhance my ability to relate with people, I do give it time. I give it serious consideration. So that is it. So what is emotional intelligence put together as a phrase? According to Wikipedia, it is the ability to perceive, to understand, to use, to manage, and to handle emotions. That is what emotional intelligence is all about. Simply put, emotional intelligence is the ability to understand your own emotion, your own emotion, your mental state, and also that of others. And then that knowledge will also enable you, to deal with people. It will enhance your ability to relate with people because you understand how they feel. So when you are emotionally intelligent, it enhances the way you deal with people. It enables you to deal with people. It helps you to build good relationship if you have emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence was discussed, in four as a four skills put together. One is self-awareness. Second one is self-management. The third one is social awareness, and the fourth one is relationship management. I take that again: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. The first two is about you personally, while the next two, that is 3 and 4, is about the other people, which where I said before is you know about your own emotional state, you understand your own emotional state, and then you are able also to understand that of others. So that's how it is grouped. So what are the importance of emotional intelligence? Kemi, let me read what you say. The ability to perceive, understand, good. You're a good student. And manage emotion. That is, you are very correct. So what is the what are the importance of emotional intelligence? We as human beings, we are social beings. We relate with one another. Anywhere, the life is actually about interactions, whether within family circle, whether in community, whether at workplace, anywhere you find yourself. So far you are going to be relating with people, you need emotional intelligence, because it's going to impact on you on how you deal with people. So because we are going to be relating with people, we need to have that skill that will help us in management of people. Why? Because as you relate with people, you are going to meet people with different personality type. People with different personality type, you must have been seeing it, that you will get to what there are some person you can't just understand why they behave the way they behave. The same way some person to be wondering, why are you like this? I'm sure you must have had occasion to ask someone or to wonder about someone, why are you like this? That is just their personality type. But when you are someone that have that, what we call emotional intelligence, you'll be able to understand that person, and your understanding of that person will help you to know how to relate with that person, better. So when you have what is called emotional intelligence, it helps you to get along with people. I'm sure you must have seen some person that almost everybody complain about them. They have issue with this one, they have issue with that one, and then someone will describe such person as they are very difficult, they are very complicated human being. That is how best to describe them. So when you have emotional intelligence, even that person that everybody categorize as not easy to get along with, you will be able to get along with that person, because you are able to interpret his or her emotion, and you are able to relate with that person based on the knowledge that you have of that person. So these are the ways I'm going to be mentioning, ways that emotional intelligence help you in your relationship with people. Like I've said, I will just mention it again. It helps you to recognize and understand your own personal emotional states. That is, you yourself, you need to pay attention to yourself. When you have emotional state, you know what triggers you, what gets you angry, you know what gets you happy. Some boundaries you have, that if anybody crosses this boundary, this I'm going to behave, this I'm going to react. You have understanding of yourself. Some persons, they don't ask them, how do you feel, how do you, you know, how do you feel about this thing? They can't explain to you. But when you have what we call emotional intelligence, you first of all, you know, understand your own emotion. Remember when I mentioned the 4 groups, you know, emotional intelligence group, I talked about self-awareness. It starts from yourself. You understand your own self. So if you understand yourself, it's easy for you now to understand another person, you know. And just as you understand your own self, you'll be able to also understand the emotion of other people, you know. When you understand them, you know what to do or what to expect if you act in a way towards them. Because of your understanding of their emotion you have, you know what to expect, you know what their reaction will be. And so if it's a relationship, for example, you want to sustain, and you already understand the boundary that if I cross this person is going to be unhappy with me, is going to be angry with me, you don't want to go there. So you will not just be doing things, you know, haphazardly. You don't just to take people for granted. You understand who they are. So it also help you, emotional intelligence also help you to communicate effectively. What do you mean by communicate effectively? In the sense that if you know what you feel, if you understand your own emotion, if you are asked how you feel about a matter, you'll be able to describe it. And then also, if you want to talk with someone, because you already know who they are, you know what to say to that person, you know how to make the person happy, you know how to know to cross some boundary lines. And then also in the way you express yourself, you are able also to use, you know, the right vocabulary, you know, for every situation that you find yourself. So it helps your communication. You don't talk anyhow. You don't just, you know, some person will just talk to you. They don't care how you feel about the statement they have made. If you have emotional intelligence, you are careful. You choose your word. You give, there's respect shows in every way you communicate with people. You don't take people for granted. That's an advantage you have if you are an emotionally intelligent person. Then it also helps you to adapt to your environment. Someone that is emotional intelligent does not have issue, you know, adapting to an environment. There are some persons, when they find themselves in an environment, they will be so scared. They don't even know where to start. They don't know how to open up conversation. They don't know how to make new friends. It's like once you put them in that environment, it's like you have gone to put them inside prison or inside that hole. Meanwhile, you saw some human beings that they just get to an environment in less than 1 hour, they've made friends. You'll be wondering, you just got here now. It happens in workplaces. It happens when you find yourself, even in the assemblies. When you just get transferred to a new town and you are meeting brethren for the first time you have not seen before. Some, hey, it's going to be like a mountain. You mean I'm going to go to that place? How am I going to keep my face? How am I going to keep my head? To even able to say hello to someone is going to be so burdensome. But when you have emotional intelligence, it helps you because you know how to communicate, you know how to break barrier, and once you are able to do that, you'll be able to relate with people and adapt to any environment, any new environment you find yourself. I hope we are following. So that's how it helps us to relate with people. That's like I said, it's a topic that if you want to deal with emotional intelligence on its own is very, very deep, but this is just like a 20 or maximum 30 minutes talk. So I don't want us to go so much in it because I want to tailor it to how it enhances or how it helps us either to build or to sustain relationships. So I will be going forward now to talk about how to develop. Thank God it's a skill. Just like any other skill, you can learn it, you can develop it. A lot have to do actually with our upbringing, with our foundation, but you can, the one you see that you are deficient in, you can always learn it. That is just the beauty of it because it's a skill. And like any other skill, you can always acquire it. It depends on who you are and what you determine to do. So that is why the number one thing I want to talk about how to acquire emotional intelligence is the fact that you need to be intentional. Oh, that's Rona. Is she? You are correct. That's who she is truly. Where she finds herself, before you know it, she has made friends everywhere. So in that respect, she's an emotional intelligence in that area. Thank you, Kemi, for that. So be intentional about it. First of all, appreciate it, just like we have enumerated its importance and how it helps you to sustain relationship. See it as something that is important that you need to get. So be intentional about it. I mentioned that when I came across that phrase, thereafter, anywhere I see it, or anywhere I hear about any discussion, or I come across it online, I want to hear more. I want to read about it. In the first instance, it was even a book that introduced it to me, and I just saw emotional intelligence, and I was drawn to it. I wanted to know what is it that they are talking about. So you need to be intentional. You need to know that I need this thing and I need to go for it. You need to build yourself for it. Read about it. Go online. Browse on it. If you come across the book, also buy. You can also search it online and get the book. That's one way to be intentional about it. Then secondly, you need to practice self-control. You need to practice self-control. One way to make sure that you master your emotion is to have self-control. You don't act before you think. Anyone that's almost everything you do, you come to regret it. You are not emotionally intelligent. For example, maybe when you are angry, you say things that thereafter you regret. You go and be apologizing. I actually did not mean that way. It's because I'm angry. No. Whether you are angry, whether you are happy, you must possess your own soul. Just like scripture says, you must be able to master your emotions. So you have to practice self-control. And when I mean practice, you need to go for tips on knowing how to hold yourself when you are angry. We have seen some person that says that when you are angry, maybe you should breathe in and breathe out. I came across someone we're discussing in marriage counseling session groups like that. He was talking about how do you manage anger. He said once he's angry, he just started speaking in tongues. So you also must devise your own means that when you are angry, or when something can make you to lose your head, you need to find a way of bringing back yourself to in control, that whatsoever you do at that particular time, or whatsoever you say at that particular time, 100 years to come, you cannot regret it, because you thought it through before you do it or before you say it. Then you must learn to empathize. You must be someone that puts yourself in other people's shoes. There is actually a golden rule in the Bible like that, in Matthew 7:12, that said that you should do unto others as you have them do unto you. So indirectly, what the passage is saying, that be emotionally intelligent. When you are someone that have empathy, you are someone that empathizes, you won't treat people anyhow, because you will feel for that person. You will put yourself in the position of that person. If they talk to me like this, if they do this one to me, will I be happy? How will I feel? It will also help you. For example, one thing that I develop, I say faith helped me to develop. It's a kind of a spiritual growth. Is the fact that at the time, it was easy for me to let go of offenses, because immediately I started, because the Bible said you should be angry but sin not. You should not let the sun go down on your anger. How do I do this and I'll be angry? But this issue of think before you act and practice self-control, I saw that it helped, in the sense that when I'm angry, I'll start thinking, put myself in the shoe of the other person. I'm like, maybe I was even the one that hurt the person. I will be thinking, I will be imagining what will be running in the person's head or mind. Why will he be angry with me? Maybe because I did this, or maybe because I did this. And in the process of imagining myself in that person's shoe, the anger will just whistle away. And before you know it, I will even be the first person to move forward and make peace. So it's something that we need to learn how to do, to empathize, to always put people in your own shoe, or you put yourself in the shoe of another person, or in the place of another person. You are practicing emotional intelligence. So you also develop interpersonal skill. Is very important. And these skills we are talking about is not only in love relationship as per maybe marriage or maybe you are dating. No, in your workplace, as a family, you know, you need, even among brethren, if everyone in the church, because there are a lot of scripture that indirectly we can interpret as being emotionally intelligent. If we practice them, there is not going to be problem in the church. So these are the things we need to work on and ourselves. Interpersonal skill, how to go along with people, how to be everybody's friend, how to be, you know, the man of the people. You know, when I mean man, I don't mean man, I'm talking of man generically now, not man as a gender. You know, you be the man of the people. You relate with someone very easily. It's something you can acquire. You also need to build your vocabulary. What do I mean by that? Is the fact that you don't say something different from what you actually mean. For example, someone that can behave so badly to you that what you meant to say is the fact that the person is mean. Meanwhile, you now tell the person you are a wicked person. Both words, they carry different meaning and they are weighty. But you, what the way it occurred to you, the way you feel at that particular moment is how you have expressed it. But when you sit you down and the person means say, do you mean you call me wicked? You no, I actually don't mean it that way. If you want to be emotionally intelligent, you need to develop enough vocabulary to be able to say precisely how you feel. You don't say you are depressed. Maybe you just feel down at a particular time. You are sad, you are unhappy, you are excited, and you say you are depressed. Depressed is a big thing. It's a medical issue. But we use it carelessly because that's the only grammar that readily comes to our mind. And I will narrow this one to the issue of relationship now. Most of the times when we have would-be couples to counsel and we ask them to describe, you know, their partner, most of the time you just say, oh, it's awesome. They'll be looking at one another. It's awesome. It's wonderful. What makes him awesome? What makes him wonderful? We will be expecting to hear, oh, he's kind-hearted. He's a generous person. He's very courteous. He's very humble. He's very respectful. But they will just use for the any nearest word to describe the person. Why is this important? Is the fact that when you describe the person appropriately, you are able to identify his, you know, positive side and his negative side. It is important you know the positive side so that you will learn also to measure on that positive when things are down. So that's why you need to increase your, you know, vocabulary and also know what to say when you are actually what you say when you need to say it. They also learn to say no. A lot of people have found themselves into trouble because they feel, no, I can't say no. Like one of my daughters, I wanted her to come and assist me in the house. And she had plenty works to do at that weekend. And then she managed to say, oh, I will come, mommy. At the end of the day, she wasn't there fully as I expected her. So later she told me, mommy, I was actually busy, but I cannot tell you no. I said, no, you can tell me no. Tell me no, because you have genuine reason to say no. It is important to say no at that time. You did not say no, you hurt yourself, you also hurt me because you did not do the job the way I expected you to do it. And at the same time, you too will not be able to give attention to what you were doing as at the time you want to do it. As you grow, as you grow older, you know, either in business or in your work, you will encounter situations that will make you to say no. And as you enter into relationship, into marriage, you need to know what to say no to. You need to say what you say yes to. That is part of the thing that encourages abuse in relationship and in marriage. Learn to say no. I can't take this. I can't do this. It's not. It's important. What can happen is the person will be angry at that particular time, but you have passed across your message to the person. So please learn to say no when it is necessary for you to say so. Then be self-aware. What are we talking about? I've been repeating self-awareness, self-awareness, self-awareness. You need to know your strength. You need to know your weaknesses. When you know your strength, you know your weaknesses, and that of your partner is going to a long way to help you. Number one, when you know your weakness, it helps you to know what areas of your life you need to work on. You don't just know for knowing sake. You just don't know to say, okay, that is me. After all, I did. Everybody have their own weaknesses. Or if it is your partner, we do the test together. You see who you are, see who you are. So you better take me like that. No. You know the weakness so that you can work on it. Then you know your strength so that you know your worth. When you know your strength, it's going to boost your confidence level. It's going to give you courage. You know what you are best at. You know what makes you unique from every other person. You know when you are bringing to table, even when it is in the issue of relationship or marriage is concerned, even at your workplace, you will bear with me, all of you that are online today, you are working. You must have gone to interview where they ask you, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What they are asking you indirectly is, what are you bringing to the table? What are you best at? Let me even tell you the truth. What made me to say I'm going to discuss this essential skill is the fact that I was interviewed. You know, I had an opening, small time I had with me. I said, let me just see if I can, what I can do with this time. And so I applied for a job, and all they were telling me what I skill. And as I was spending there, I'm like, ordinary work I want to do a skill. Marriage is more or important. So marriage also requires skill. I'm going to, talk about this essential skill also. So when your strength are the things that you are bringing to table, they are the things you are going to use, to build your marriages, to build your relationships. So you got to be aware of it. So even somebody wants to talk you down, you know who you are, and you have something to offer. So you cannot be talked down. You need to be appreciated for who you are. So it's going to boost your confidence level if you know who you are. You need to be a good listener. You don't be people that shut someone up. You don't be someone that shuts people up. You must have come across some person that you can't even talk where they are talking. They want to say, I don't want to listen. I don't want to hear that. Their word is their final. They are not being emotionally intelligent. God, that is, how can I put this? All wisdom, personified. He says to us, bring your strong reason. Let us reason together. If God can say we should reason together, who is human being that will say, I don't want to hear it? Don't talk to me. I don't talk, you are talking. You must be a good listener. And if you must make relationship work, you must be a good listener. Now, whether you're a woman, whether you are a man, whether in your workplace, you must be a good listener. Also avoid being judgmental. If you are the one that anytime if they say anything about you, it's just about condemnation, it's all about judging that person, people will not even come around you in the first instance. People cannot confide in you, especially parents. Some parents get it wrong in that area. That's why their teenage children do not confide in them, because they are going to condemn them. Oh, you too, why did you go and make friends with that kind of person? Oh, they rape you, you are the one that gave cause to it, you are befriending a guy. All those kind of things, they are being judgmental. Even as friends, we can be judgmental to our friend. You find out that they are not, talking to you. Like I said, this is just to create, our awareness. I will expect each and every one of us tonight to still go and search deeper on this topic of emotional intelligence, because you need it. Whether you're an employer of labor, whether you're an employee, you need it. A lot of people cannot sustain their business because they don't know how to manage staff. They hire today, they fire tomorrow, because of their inability to, to manage different emotions. I've had cause to use some staff. My husband will be like, how did you get this person? How are you managing this person? I know the temperament of all my staff, and I deal with them according to how they are. And that's another scripture that God another thing we can pick from the Bible as being emotional, as where Bible is teaching to be emotional intelligent. You remember in 1 Peter, it says to men, I think 1 Peter 3, it says that men should deal with their wife according to knowledge. So it's not peculiar to men. Women also need to deal with their husband according to knowledge. Parents need to deal with their children according to knowledge. Employees need to deal with their masters according to knowledge. And employer needs to deal with their staff according to knowledge. What the Bible is saying indirectly is be emotionally intelligent. Reverend Richard, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. So that is what we talked about being emotional intelligent. Is a special skill that you must have. And if you are watching tonight, whether you are married or you are yet to marry, please make sure you take the issue of emotional intelligence very, very serious. You can even go online to do a test on it. Like yesterday, it just dawned on me, tomorrow I want to be talking about emotional intelligence. Let me even see how far I fare in this. And I did the test online. Like I said before, that when I came across that book, I actually have some of them. I didn't know the name, that they were called emotional intelligence. So truly, to confirm that also, when I did the test yesterday, I learned that average person that did the test score between 90 and 100, and the maximum score is 160. And when I did the test, I got 123, and I was among 8.5% of people that have done that test that got that mark. So that means I have developed myself in that area to that extent. I said, no wonder that almost anybody that come my way, I can relate with them, you know. So I believe if I can learn it, any other person can learn it. And so I'm recommending every one of you to please be emotional intelligent as you seek to go into marriage, or as you seek to make your marriage happy. A happy marriage is a marriage that is emotionally intelligent. Thank you. Adesire, thank you. I see you. I see Rona also, well, at a time. So if you have a question, you can type in, or how do you feel about tonight's session? I hope it's insightful. I hope it's impactful. I hope you learn one or two things. I hope I'm able to whet your appetite in wanting to know more about emotional intelligence. So that is how we are going to be ending it today. Next week, we're going to be talking on another skill. We have a YouTube channel now for marriage campus for singles. So we're going to be, I've uploaded some of our series we've had. You can go there, search for it, subscribe, and begin to follow. Share the link with your friends, even the one we've done today. Share the links if it has blessed you. May the Lord continue to help us as we grow ourselves in the name of Jesus.